Welcome back to StayTrue Tv, here for another day on the Yamaha Kodiak 450 quad bike. Today we're planning on getting into sandblasting all the brakes, turbo, rear diff bash plate, start getting all the brakes in, bled up, hopefully have brakes set up on the bike to get into it. Alright, so the first thing we want to do is protect the caliper from getting any dirt or anything in it. What we're going to do is just tape up the banjo, screw it back in. Go ahead and remove the pads. Well, we'll go and chuck it in the sandblaster and see how we go. Alright, last piece of the puzzle, we're going to go ahead and split this assembly up, blast all them pieces, then we can start cleaning some stuff and getting some paint on. Alright, so we've gone ahead, got everything that we want blasted. Now we're going to go and grab everything that needs painted, hang it up, clean it up, get it painted. The first thing we've got to achieve here is getting the lid off of the reservoir. The screws are pretty hacked up, but I'm hoping we should be able to get them with an impact driver. So let's see how we go. That got it out. So it's the first time I've used this tool. It's like a special screw extractor. I was a bit skeptic whether it was actually going to work or not, but there you go. Proof has it. Pulled the thread out and everything. Sweet. Now you can take the cap off and keep moving on. Alright, she's all popped out. We'll go and machine up a new piece. Alright, so again, I went ahead yesterday, glued a bolt onto the perspex. Now we're just going to shape it up on the grinder. Then we'll chuck it up in the lathe and machine it down to size. Get this thing off the bolt and back into the reservoir. Alright, so I've just gone and taken the actual foot pedal off, just so I can get my head around the positioning here. Go and mount this bracket up, and then we'll put the foot pedal back on once we're in position. Alright, we'll go and chuck this for a bath, give it a good clean off. We'll go and mount that bit up next. Next thing on the list, let's get this rear brake mounted up now. We'll go and clean the caliper up, bring it back through, start mounting it up. Back here, we may as well go ahead and chuck the toe bowl and the bash plate back on. Alright, so we're back on the front reservoir now. When I've done this, usually I use a smaller bolt, and because the size of the glass is the same size as the bolt, I'm actually having a bit of trouble getting the bolt off. So what we're going to do is try and heat it up, get that glue to heat up, and hopefully be able to knock this bolt off and leave the perspex behind. Like so. Go and clean that perspex up now, give it a polish. We should be just about good to start cleaning this thing back up. Alright, so I've just gone and chucked a little bit of glue over the top. As you can see, I made a bit of a mess, but that's fine. We'll clean that up in a minute. Just to try and seal the deal. Pressed it in anyway, so it should be in there pretty snug, but the glue's just for a bit of extra secureness. Now we're just going to go and file the glass nice and flat. Once we've done that, we'll get our sandpaper, wet rub out, start wet rubbing the glass down nice and smooth again, and we should be all good to go. Beautiful. Probably put it back through the blaster and just get a couple of little spots that I've damaged, get rid of the last of the glue. We'll chuck it in the bath, give it a wash, see how she turns out. Oh, alright, check this out. So we've just gone and taken this little cap out of here. I've cleaned it out already, but you can see that there was a lot of crap in there. So at the moment we're pushing the plunger. Everything looks alright, just a bit gooey and crap, so we're going to give everything a clean up. Plunger, no damage to the seals or anything, so I'm thinking this will work once we clean it up and give it a decent bit of a wash. But yeah, there was a massive amount of crap in there, so I think that was stopping the oil from flowing through to the piston to push out. We'll go ahead and clean it up. Alright, so I've just gone and chucked some WD-40 in the top of it, and then done the plunger, and we've got, and the plunger's working now, so we should be good to go. Go ahead, finish cleaning this thing up, getting it all wiped down, dry off. So get her up on the bike and hook up some hoses. Alright guys, I just want to bring your attention to this diaphragm here. This is the diaphragm for the top of the brake reservoir. Now when I just took the lid off, it was really hard. Went and sprayed it with some carby and throttle cleaner. Softened it up. Feels really good now. So, really durable. Everything's working good. We'll continue on cleaning up and keep moving on. Alright, looks like brand new. Go hook this thing up. Alright guys, so it's the next day. Gone and found myself a brake lever off my old YZ450F. That seems to fit in here, so we're going to just use that just so we can bleed the brakes up. Also what we're going to do is just chuck a set of handlebars that I've got laying around on the bike just so I can mock up the system. Just helps get the oil in the brakes and get them working hopefully. See how we go. Alright guys, so how I do the bleeding of the brakes, one that I learnt when I was working on my mum's car, and if you're on your own, what I do is I'll fill this bottle up with so much brake fluid, then we've got the cap and the hose go in to the bottom, we put this onto our bleed line, our bleed nipple, then we crack the bleed nipple open, and then what happens is as we fill up the reservoir and pump it, air bubbles will come out into the oil that's down here, and when that stops coming, that means that the fluid's completely bled through the line. We close off this bleed nipple on this side, then we'll move over to the other side and do the same to the other bleed nipple. Once there's no air bubbles coming out, we know them brakes should be bled perfect. Alright, then we'll go ahead and fill our reservoir up. Don't forget to keep on top of the reservoir. So that's starting to get pretty low, so we're just going to top it back up and keep bleeding. Shouldn't take too much to get this thing going. So already it's just about bled. We've been probably on here for about 5 minutes, if that. Got a good firm lever now. Front brakes are done, they're working. So we'll go on and get the back ones done. Alright, so the last thing we want to do now is go around and top up the diff oils. Let's get that done. Alright, now the front one's done, let's get on to the back one. Never checked the thread on this. So I've just gone and tightened it up, and she ain't tightening up. And I just noticed it's got a bit of Teflon tape on it, so I'm thinking that's what they've done. Don't know if we'll give it a go or not. Let's see. All right, we saved the day. I had a sump bolt out of a Suzuki road bike. Went straight in, fit sweet. All tightened up, ready to go. All right guys, so we've gone ahead, bled the front brakes, the back brakes, done the diffs. So all the diff oils are complete. We've got a new plug on the rear diff that was threaded. It was just slightly longer, the one off a sump plug that I had off a Suzuki road bike. Chucked that in, grabbed the thread, locked up, sweet. Windows like brand new, looking snaz. Whole brake assembly is looking like new now. That's sweet. Everything's working well. Rear brakes, we are going to get some new rear pads for that, because they're a little bit low. I just chucked them in so we could bleed them up, which is all good and well and done. On that note, we're going to call it a wrap. So don't forget, we've got a Facebook page now, StayTrue Tv. Jump on there, follow us, get the inside scoop before YouTube. Also, we are on Instagram if you want to jump on and follow us there. We really appreciate you taking the time and watching our videos, and we hope you enjoy the content that we're putting forward. Stay safe. We'll catch you next time.